Hello, you are here because you want to know how to make an amazing proposal. Hello, you are here because you want to know how to make an amazing proposal. My name's Edward White. I'm a creative entrepreneur based in the UK, and I'm here to tell you the best ways that I think you can make a proposal, how you can win more business, and ultimately the best practices that I've learned over the 2 years of making a proposal. So to start, this was one of my biggest areas of anxiety in my business, and sending out proposals and thinking, what are they gonna think, has been one of the biggest stress-inducing things that I've done. And ultimately it doesn't really matter, but it comes from experience, and it comes from just sending them out there and basically building on it as you do it. So throughout the years, my proposals have changed a lot. The way that I've designed them's changed, the way that I space them out, the way that I set my pricing, how I display my pricing, how I package up my pricing has changed. And I wanted to kind of give that advice to you, because I think it's one thing that doesn't really get enough limelight. I think portfolios do, any sort of other business area gets a lot of this is how to do it, but when it comes to proposals, it's one of those things that you don't really know what you're doing, and there's not, I've found, a lot of advice out there, so I thought I would share it with you, and hopefully you find this video useful. I'm gonna do a shameless plug now because, yeah, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and it would mean so much if you could give this video a like, and if you could consider subscribing, that would mean a lot. When it comes to making a proposal, I think a proposal should be at least 3 things: branded, simple, and an insight into what you can offer that client. So when it comes to making your own proposal, make sure it's branded to your business and how you want to perceive yourself. I've tested doing a few with the client's branding and a mixture of the two, but I found that by doing it with my branding, it's cohesive over the website, over the social media, over the content that we put out, so that then when the client sees it, it's familiar. I'd have a go at sort of doing it. Number 2, keep it simple. Keep it really simple. Don't over explain, overfill it, because people are going to be reading this. They're not going to have a lot of time, and if you are just pumping information in them, they're going to feel overwhelmed and they're going to feel stressed. Try and make it as simple as possible. Try and keep it as minimal in terms of information and text that you've got in there. Fill it out with images, which brings me on to my next point. Give it an insight into what you're going to offer the client. So spend the time to do a mock of what you think say for me, example is the Instagram feed. I'll do a mock of what I think it would look like if I'm going for an Instagram, a social media client, retainer client. I will do an Instagram mock to how I think it would look good. The way that you do it, I think, so if you say for a video, for example, would be quite hard, but maybe you could do some spec work around, make a little video edit of how you think the work would look. Yeah, make a little tiny video edit, send it with the proposal. Or alternatively, you could make the thumbnails of how you think it would look best on YouTube, on wherever the video has been hosted. You can do mocks that would give their sort of imagination that little kick that I think some people need to push it over the line. Plus, it also shows people that you've put the effort in to really thinking about how you can help their business. And I think for me, that's where a proposal, some win, some lose, is the fact that you're going for work because you want to help their business, you want to help it grow. They want to get value from you because they're going to be paying you money, and if they can see that value initially, it will help you just get more business and help the client further over the line. So yeah, 3 things to think about. On to my next step. I design all my proposals in InDesign, Adobe InDesign. I used to use Photoshop, but I just found that like designing all the pages and the words, it looked nice, but my workflow, it just didn't match up. Whereas in InDesign, you can set it so that it's all a PDF and it flows nicely. Add images of relevant to their businesses, but again, make it on your brand. I'm going to show you some examples of stuff that I've done. I will use a combination of Photoshop and InDesign. So I'll do the mocks, images, any visuals I'll do in Photoshop. I'll take it over into InDesign and I will put the text together along with, just it as a cohesive sort of proposal. When it comes to pages, I think you want to make the first page the real sort of standout page. This is what we can do for you. Outline in text saying what we're going to do for you, how we're going to do it, and this is the next steps. And then go on to show the work that you can create, go on to show the different sort of designs and mocks that you created that you think would work for their business. Do a little bit of an explanation around the mocks, and then go on to your pricing and break it down into what they get as a sort of a complete package. Because if you just say, I can do a video for you for whatever, people aren't going to be able to see the value and break it down into, oh, actually he spends this much time doing a video, shooting it, editing it, doing the amends, doing the color grade, doing the sound design, all of those aspects which you and I know go into making a video or doing a graphic design, but the client doesn't necessarily know. So you need to tell them, you need to break it down for them. This, I can't really tell you how to do. You need to break your workload down, how you actually do it, how you actually work. So if you work on an hourly rate, break that down. If you work on a day rate, break that down, show how many days it will take you to do X task, and then show that to the client. And I think that will help a lot. So before I even start a proposal, I try to do a written plan, which just helps me to kind of get into one of my work states that if I know I'm going to do a proposal, I know it's going to take quite a while. So I want to try and get it done in that space of time. I don't want to come back to it. So I'll write down, I'll plan what the pages are going to be, what they're going to look like, and then the information I think will need to go in there. I'll do this normally by written, by hand, because then I can just do it and get into that flow state and just whack out the design, and it just works better for me. So the next step, you've got a design proposal, you're ready to send it off. This is probably one of the most important steps. And one thing that I learned, I can't remember where I learned it from. I think it was from someone on social media. I think it was from someone on LinkedIn. But they said, when you send a proposal, basically get a date booked in for when you're going to discuss the proposal. Because if you just leave it, there's time for them to think about it. Whereas if you say, I'm going to book in this date for a discussion for 30 minutes, please let me know if it doesn't work for you, then they'll give you another date. And it's just a good way to kind of get that process in of you talking about the proposal that you've just created, and then hopefully on to the next steps of like how it's going to work, the logistics, the dates, etc. But yeah, by getting that date in, you've almost like solidly, I don't know how to describe it. You basically are planning for the next steps. And I think people like that, and it just doesn't leave it open-ended. It's like, this is the next steps. Let me know what you want me to do. And that way, you're not pressuring them, but you're just putting a constraint on them so they don't just sit on it and dwell on it. And some people will, some clients will, So yeah, by putting that in place, you've almost mitigated against it. And then, yeah, I don't really have any other advice apart from that. It's just like, study the proposal when you do go through the phone call, and yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy making the proposals. They are a fun thing to do, but I think it can cause you stress, and it can cause you a little bit of anxiety, or it did for me anyway. Yeah, but it can be fun, and it's obviously a good way to try business, because yeah, people doing proposals, you get, don't worry about it, don't stress about it. If you don't get the client, it's not the end of the world. Keep going, keep persevering, you will get more clients. It's just a time game, really. Yeah, if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing and give it a like. And yeah, if you have any advice or any questions for me, please let me know in the comments, and I would be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye. So, I like to think a proposal should be 3 things. What are those 3 things?